The habit you call just thinking. Have you ever caught yourself replaying the same thought and again, like a loop you can't turn off? At first it feels harmless. You tell yourself you're just thinking things through, being careful, trying to understand. But slowly something changes. That thinking turns into overthinking, and overthinking isn't clarity, it's noise. It drains your energy without solving anything. It creates problems that don't exist yet. It makes simple decisions feel heavy. And the worst part? You don't even notice when it starts. You think you're in control, but your mind is quietly running in circles. People who overthink often believe they are being more aware, more intelligent. But in reality, they are stuck. Because real thinking leads to action. Overthinking leads to paralysis. You delay decisions. You doubt yourself more. You feel mentally exhausted, even if you did nothing physically. And this becomes a pattern. A silent habit that slowly teaches your brain one thing: stay stuck. But here's something most people never realize. The goal of your mind is not to think endlessly. It's to decide, move, and adapt. And when you interrupt that natural flow, you start working against yourself. So ask yourself honestly, are you thinking or are you just trapped in your own mind? Because once you see it, you can begin to break it. And that's where everything starts to change. But overthinking is just the beginning. There's another habit, even more subtle, that might be shaping your mind every single day. The habit of constant distraction. Look around you for a moment. Notifications, short videos, endless scrolling. It feels normal now, doesn't it? But your brain was never designed for constant stimulation. Every time you switch from one thing to another, your attention weakens. Just a little. And over time, that little becomes everything. You start losing focus faster. You struggle to stay present. Even silence begins to feel uncomfortable. So you reach for your phone again. Not because you need it, but because your mind got used to escape. And this is where the damage happens, because deep thinking requires stillness. Clarity requires space. But if your brain is constantly fed with noise, it forgets how to slow down. And when that happens, you don't just lose focus. You lose connection with yourself. You stop noticing your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own direction. You become reactive instead of intentional. And slowly, without realizing it, you give away control of your own mind. But here's the truth most people ignore. Distraction isn't rest. It's avoidance. And the more you avoid silence, the more your mind becomes dependent on noise. And if distraction weakens your focus, the next habit quietly changes something even deeper: the way you see yourself. The habit of negative self-talk. There's a voice inside your head. You hear it every day, but you rarely question it. It tells you things like, you're not good enough. You always mess things up. You're behind everyone else. And over time, something dangerous happens. You start believing it. Not because it's true, but because it's familiar. Your brain repeats what it hears the most. So if your inner voice is constantly critical, your identity slowly shapes around it. You hesitate more. You doubt your abilities. You stop trying before you even begin. And this doesn't happen overnight. It builds quietly, word by word, thought by thought, until one day you don't even realize that the voice isn't helping you. It's limiting you. But here's something important. That voice is not you. It's a pattern, a learned response, something that can be changed, because the same mind that learned to criticize can learn to support. And when that shift happens, everything starts to feel different. But most people never reach that point, because they're stuck in another habit that keeps reinforcing all of this. And this next one might be the most invisible of all. The habit of comparison. 300 palavras. Without realizing it, you are constantly comparing your life to others, their success, their progress, their happiness, and it happens so fast, you barely notice. One scroll, one image, one story, and suddenly, your own life feels smaller. But what you're seeing is not reality. It's a fragment, a highlight, a carefully selected moment, yet your brain treats it as the full picture, and that creates a silent distortion. You begin to measure your worth based on incomplete information. You feel behind even when you're not. You feel inadequate, even when you're growing. And the more you compare, the less you appreciate your own path. Because comparison shifts your focus away from progress and into judgment. And judgment over time kills motivation. You stop moving forward, you start questioning everything, and slowly you disconnect from your own journey. But here's the truth. Your life was never meant to look like someone else's. And the moment you stop comparing, you regain something powerful: clarity. But there's one last habit, and it might be the one holding everything in place: the habit of ignoring yourself. Out of all the habits, this is the one that goes unnoticed the most. Ignoring yourself. Not your responsibilities, not your tasks, you, your feelings, your limits, your needs. You push through exhaustion. You silence your emotions, you keep going, even when something inside you is asking you to stop. And at first, it feels like strength. But over time, it becomes disconnection. Because when you constantly ignore yourself, you lose the ability to understand what you truly need. You become distant from your own mind. And that creates confusion. You don't know what you want anymore. You don't know why you feel the way you feel. Everything becomes heavy, unclear. And this is where many people feel lost. Not because they are broken, but because they stopped listening. But here's the turning point. The moment you start paying attention again, everything begins to realign. Small changes, small awareness, small honesty with yourself, that's where recovery begins. If any of these habits felt familiar, don't ignore that. Not everything needs to change overnight. But noticing, that's the first step. And if this video made you reflect, tell me in the comments, which habit did you recognize in yourself? I read everything. And if you want more videos like this, you can stay. No pressure. Just take what helps you and move forward one step at a time.